everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to Phil Does 3D. I'm a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream live on Twitch on Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 PM Pacific time in the United States, 10 AM in Australia or 1 AM in the UK. Remember though, if you miss the live streams, you can always catch up with the premiere event streams, and they're on a Friday and Saturday at 2 PM Pacific time in the US, which is 7 AM in Australia or 10 PM in the UK. I hope all you guys and girls are well. We're going to be working on an Art Deco cinematic in the Unreal Engine UE4.19.2. It's an environment, an Art Deco period building which is fully furnished. So we're going to go fly through the environment with our camera, enter the building, and then go back out of the back of the building. That's the plan for the cinematic. We're at the stage now where we're setting up our cameras. So that's what we're going to continue with today. Remember, if you've got any questions, please feel free to pop into chat and ask me. If you want to pop into chat and say hello, that is always welcome. But if all you want to do is watch, that's completely fine. Okay. Making sure my music is playing, because you guys didn't tell me my music wasn't playing yesterday. It wasn't until I started editing the video after the stream that I realized there was no music on my music track. So thanks for telling me, guys. You were probably just happy no music was playing in the background, weren't you? So, so the plan is, as usual, we set up our cameras on Mondays and Tuesdays, and then the following Monday we review the cameras from the previous week. So we did that yesterday, and we'll do that on Monday next week. So what I'm doing for the cinematic is I'm just rendering out different shots. I go into my shots folder, rendering out each shot, and then I'm going to bring these shots into Adobe Premiere Pro to actually create the cinematic, the final cinematic. So we'll review the cameras we created yesterday and we create today on Monday's stream next week. And yesterday we were working around these this stag and these two deer. So we're setting up a camera for this shot, and then we're going to do a close-up camera as well. So if I just scrub along here in my timeline, we have our camera movement, which is cool. We've got our main stag here, animating. So we just need to finish up the animation for the stag, and then we can move on to the two deer. So we've got an idle animation to begin with, so that when the camera first starts, the deer is idling, so just breathing. And then he moves into a look around. And then I'm going to send him back into an idle animation. What have we got here? We've got an attack animation, a combo attack animation, which we're not going to use, a death animation, which we're not going to use. We're not going to use the get hit. We've used the look around. We've got the idle breathe. I'm not going to use a run or a walk cycle either, so we'll go back with an idle breathe. I'm just going to pull that. Hey Legmog, good to see you, buddy. How are you? I asked Sniper Echo a week or two ago how you were doing, and he said you were working, is that right? Which is good. But how have you been, buddy? Long time no see. Yeah, I know. It has been a long time no see. How's everything going? You've been working, you've been streaming, what you been doing? Again, for anyone that doesn't know, Legmog is another streamer who streams on Twitch. He uses Cinema 4D, and I use Max mainly. Legmog says, yes, got a 2-day stint literally working at a company's office, which turned into a whole month. Okay, that's cool. Well, it's always nice to get to work for a different studio, you know, do something you don't normally do, like work on something maybe you wouldn't normally work on. It's always cool. And 2 days turning into a month, that sounds like a pretty good deal. Legmog says, as I normally work from home over the internet, this was my first time ever doing an actual traditional 9 to 5. Oh, how'd you find that? Was it difficult for you to get up in the morning and head into the studio? I know it's really funny actually. I know because I've worked in quite a few different studios in different fields. A lot of, and Legmog does a lot of animation work, and I know a lot of my animator friends don't like starting work early. A lot of studios have what they call flexi time, flexible time, so you can start later and work later. You don't have to get there like right on the dot of 9 and finish at 5. And a lot of my animator friends never used to rock into the studio till about 11. So, not just animators, by the way. A lot of designers are like that. Legmog says, I adapted quite well actually. I'm normally a real night owl, but I quickly adapted to the early nights rises. Yeah, not every studio, like I said, either will do flexi time. But yeah, I know a lot of designers and animators don't like starting really early. Expectation, how are you? Says turning up at 11 a.m. That would be me. That's what it is. Most of the guys that I've worked with in studios, that's the time that they like to start. And a lot of studios will let you do that, provided you make up for it after the end of the day. They're quite happy for you to start at 11 and finish at 7 as opposed to starting at 9 and finishing at 5. This 9 to 5 business, there really is no 9 to 5 anymore. In most industries, it's always much longer than that usually. Legmog says, would always get an hour early, and it was always get in an hour early and have a lovely halloumi full English breakfast from a nearby cafe, which has made me way closer to being a veggie. Okay, cool. Sausages and bacon replaced with halloumi. I'm not familiar with that. And mushroom. Sounds good. I couldn't give up my bacon and sausage though, I'm afraid. No, I like my meat too much. In fact, I'm doing beef stroganoff over the weekend. Love my meat. Love the bacon. I couldn't do without the bacon and the sausage. But vegetarian is very good for your body, being vegetarian. Better for the environment too, by the way. Legmog says sausage and bacon replaced it. Well, it's good that you can give up your sausage and bacon that quickly, Legmog. And Expect Station says bacon is where it's at. That's right, Expect, I agree. Bacon all the way. You can't replace bacon. It's just so yummy, so yummy. Legmog says halloumi is a type of cheese. Okay, normally very rubbery, but when you fry it, it becomes crispy on the outside and soft in the inside. Very tasteful. It does sound nice, I have to admit. Crispy on the outside and soft on the inside. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. Getting back to my chefing days, scampi's a lot like that as well, which is a scampi, for anyone that doesn't know, is a type of shell fish. Think lobster, but think like a quarter of the size. And it's a bit like that as well. We used to fry it, so it was hard on the outside and soft on the inside. I don't eat seafood, by the way. Just putting that out there. I'm allergic to it, so I can never eat any seafood, but we used to cook it at the restaurant. A lot of people like seafood. Legmog says, yes, be sure to grab some when you're next shopping. I don't know, Legmog, I can't give up my bacon. It does sound nice, and I should try it. I should try new things, for sure. Expectation says, I don't like mushroom, so I couldn't eat that. I never used to like mushroom either, Beck, but I've grown accustomed to it now. Mushroom's one of those things that really doesn't have a taste. It does sort of, but it's pretty bland. And I never used to eat it because I used to hate it. I used to hate the texture of it when you used to eat it, but I've grown accustomed to it now. I would never eat just raw mushroom. That's disgusting, even if it's cooked. But if it's in a dish, then I'll eat it. Legmog says, well, you can still eat meat and halloumi. Okay, well, that's fair enough. That's true, Legmog. Works great in pasta and stir fries. Okay, cool. I eat a lot of pasta. Again, gets back to my days as being an Italian chef, a chef, I'm not Italian, of being a chef and specialising in Italian food. So I do eat a lot of pasta. So I'll have to give it a try, for sure. Expect says you should host a cooking stream. Yeah, no, Sniper Echo's mentioned that to me as well. He reckons I should do a cooking stream. Maybe. I'm a fully qualified chef, for anyone that doesn't know is watching my channel. I did my 4-year apprenticeship as a chef and got qualified and then left the industry. That was many years ago. And I've been in 3D now for more than 15 years. But so I went from being a chef to being a web programmer and designer to being then going into 3D. So I've done quite a few things over the years. Legmog says, but yes, that was my first real experience actually working at a legit high-end production company at their offices. As it was a smallish office with no isolated rooms, they never are anymore. I could eavesdrop on all client calls they had. Yeah, this gets back to the change that they made years ago in offices where, you remember you used to have cubicles? You guys maybe are too young to remember that far back, but offices used to have like cubicle walls. And they did away with all of that when the open office became a very popular thing to do. So most studios now are just a large room with desks and monitors and people sit right next to each other. It's supposed to foster open communication between everybody, but I question whether it really does or not. I guess it's easier for the bosses to keep an eye on everyone. But yeah, so it can be a bit jarring too if you're used to working at home and having to go into an office. And yeah, I used to make sure if I made a phone call, I went outside of the office. I used to go downstairs because the office I work in now, the studio is actually up on like I think it's like the 16th or 17th floor. So I generally go all the way down to street level when I want to make a phone call because I don't want people listening into what I'm saying. Expect says, well, it's not going to hurt, not like Mr. Ramsey is hiding in chat. That's very true. Mr. Ramsey, wow. He swears. He's got a mouth on him, that guy. Wow, he swears so much. So much. Every second word is the F word. And you guys know I don't swear. So, Legmog says, don't know if this is the same at your company, Phil, but I noticed when the conference call is on, it's all big, beaming smiles and politeness. But once the call ends, it's all, Jesus, I freaking told these guys they should have got this figured out months ago. I know it is. I can relate, Legmog. Months ago, we're dealing with buffoons here. No, it's like that in every office, I think, Legmog. That's right. When you're on a conference call with the person paying for what you're doing, it's all smiles and everything. Nothing's a problem. It's all good. And as soon as the conference call ends, everybody starts to bitch. Legmog says, I laugh as the clients are probably saying the exact same thing. They probably are. Smokeberry Barbecue, whoop to you too. Good to see you, Smokeberry. Did you get a nap after yesterday? You were saying in Discord that you were tired. So you should have a nap. Don't force yourself to do any work, guys, if you feel tired, because you're not going to do good work anyway. Particularly with a problem. I find if I have a problem doing something, can't work out how to do it. If I have a nap or look at it the next morning, I can generally figure out what the problem is. Papa Smurf, that's right, as Legmog says. Papa Smurf. Smurfberry says, no, I took a nap before today's stream instead. Oh, well, good idea, Smurfberry Barbecue. So you're nice and fresh. Fresh for the stream. Smurfberry was having a bit of a problem with his gun. What do they call it? The gun, the bottom of the gun part that you grip, getting it to smooth correctly to fit his low-res mesh. But yeah, so if you have that sort of problem, I always find the holster. Thank you, Legmog. The holster, that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, he was having trouble getting the smoothing correct on his holster for the gun. Smokeberry says, I'm calling it the heel or the butt. There you go. It's the heel or the butt or the holster. Call it what you will. You guys know I don't model things like guns or cars, so I'm really not up on any of that sort of stuff. One of the few men around that probably isn't really into guns and cars or sport. Of the grip, yep. It's the heel or the butt of the grip, Smokeberry says. I don't think Smokeberry streams. I don't know. Do you stream, Smokeberry? I've never actually asked you. I've never seen you streaming. You should model a car, Smokeberry? Well, you should if you want to. In ZBrush? Yeah, why not? You know, ZBrush's interface is so lovely to use. I'm sure you'll have no problem modeling a car in ZBrush. ZBrush is actually pretty good for doing hard surface modeling as well, not just character stuff. I hate the interface. Don't get me started on the ZBrush interface. You want a tirade of a half an hour of how much I hate ZBrush's interface. Expect says, last thing I modelled was from Star Trek. Star Trek is cool. I actually even like the new Star Trek movies. You know how they did a reboot of them and changed the characters, made them all a lot younger? I thought they were pretty good. I know a lot of people didn't like them, but I thought they were pretty good. All the new Star Trek movies. Nothing compares to classic Star Trek, though, I have to admit. No, you don't stream. I didn't think you streamed, Smurfberry. It's just hours of modelling, of noodling. Okay. Yeah, no, I didn't think Smurfberry streamed, but Legmog certainly does. So like I said, guys, if you're watching my channel and you want to watch somebody use Cinema 4D, you should check out Legmog when he's streaming and not working in the studio. Legmog says, don't talk about sport right now. In Britain, some famous cricket player called Ben Stokes, I've heard the name, got found innocent for being involved. Actually, that's been on the news here. Found innocent for being involved in a thuggish drunken brawl in a city centre where he knocked one bloke out and pounded another one with his friends. Yeah, they've been showing the video footage of that night, and I did hear he got let off. I don't know the full story behind it though. I don't know. He said he was trying to defend someone, I think. Whether that's true or not, you don't punch people like that in public. We have what they call a one-punch law in this country, where if you king hit someone, knock them out, you go to jail. Because what tends to happen is people get king hit, they fall backwards and smash their skull on the ground, and that can kill people. So regardless of the injury that you put on the person you hit, if you king hit someone in public in this country, you will go to jail. That's the law now. They made it a law. They made it, illegal about a year or two ago, because we were getting so many people being knocked out and dying because they were falling backwards and hitting their head. Galen, good to see you, Galen. Expect says, yeah, it wasn't bad. Also watching Discovery, but TOS is still better. Yeah, no, I agree, Expect. But yeah, the new ones I thought were pretty cool, but the original is certainly much better. Star Trek we're talking about. Luke Mock says, yet again proving that in the UK there are no depths to which one famous sports celebrities can stoop, where they will not be forgiven with open arms. Yeah, look, it's the same in this country, Luke Mock. Football is very big in Australia, and when I say football, I'm not talking about soccer. I'm talking about things like Australian rules and rugby league, which is a big round ball, an oblong-looking ball, and not a round ball for a soccer ball. The footballers in this country get let off with a lot of stuff as well. Like there've been some cases, really bad things that these footballers have done, but because they're football stars, they seem to get let off in court. I probably shouldn't denigrate the court system in this country. Maybe I wasn't in the courtroom for when they were talking as to their explanation as to why they did what they did. And the judge let them off, and the judge is the one making the decision. But it just doesn't seem. It seems like there's one rule if you're a famous sports person, and another for everyone else. That's just the impression I get from watching the news. True or not, that's the impression I get. Expect says, that's such a happy stream. How did you go from food to killing people? I know. How did we get from food to killing people? Let's not talk about killing people. But I just did want to point that out for any of you guys watching me who are thinking about coming to Australia and like to hit people in public. Don't. You'll get into all sorts of trouble. You'll go to jail. As you should. Smurfberry says, I have a huge food baby. That's why I had to nap. Food baby. That no, Smurfberry, you make me laugh. I'll have to remember that. A food baby. I usually have a food baby at Christmas time because I tend to overindulge at Christmas lunch and dinner. So let's see, we've got our idle animation. We're moved into our deer stag, I should say, looking around. Then we're just going back into an idle animation where he breathes and stares off into the distance. Legmog says, yes, cheating, stealing, drunk driving, brawling, acting like a total narcissist plonker. The sports idols certainly are a funny bunch. Yes, they certainly are. Galen says, I quite often fall into a food coma. Yeah, I can relate to that too. A food coma and a food baby. Wow. It's funny, actually. After I eat lunch, I feel tired. And occasionally I'll have a nap, particularly if I'm working from home. Don't tell the studio. I'll have lunch and then I'll go and have a nap for an hour because I just get so tired. I don't know. And then I'm fine. I'm good until midnight, 2 in the morning then. But I need the nap. Actually, at the studio, I've noticed too after lunch, a lot of the designers will just rest their head on the desk for like half an hour, have a bit of a power nap. They just sort of put their head down on their desk and have a bit of a quick nap. The studio don't mind. That's all cool. Galen says Legmog sounds like our president. I don't want to get involved in politics, particularly US politics at the moment. Expert says, haven't used Sequencer in UE4. What's it like compared to the old Matinee? Very good, Expert. Much better than Matinee. Of course, the updated interface for Sequencer now. You can do a lot more in Sequencer than you could in Matinee. It's much more pleasant to use. So I like it. I think it's really good. They've done a good job. There's a couple of, maybe it's in the version of UE4 that I'm using, but there are a couple of bugs to do with setting keyframes, which the guys have seen while I've been streaming. If you set keyframes at the beginning of your animation and you try and set them later on in the timeline, they don't take. It reverts back to these. So that's some sort of bug. I don't know why. Maybe Epic Games have fixed it in 420. I'm not updating to 420 simply because we're at the end of this project now, and there's nothing new in 420 that would make me want to upgrade for this project. So, but if you're making a game, I would suggest you upgrade. But I like it. Getting back to your question, Expect. Yep, it's cool. I like it better than Matinee. I'm interested to see what the change to the new particle system is as well, the new tool that Epic have created for the particle system in 420. I've watched a couple of the guys at Epic use it in the videos, and it does look cool. Looks quite different from the old particle system though, from Cascade. And Legmug says a little midday siesta. That's right, never hurts. Galen says, does the new version come with munchies? Expect says, is this project just the animation then? Can we see it all so far? Yeah, no, it's not just the animation. We were creating a complete environment inside of Unreal here. So we have, our building, our pond. I'm making a cinematic. This project is a cinematic. We've got a fully furnished building. Actually, instead of me going through it like this, I might just play a couple of the animations. Why not? I know you guys that have been watching me have seen these, but just for the benefit of anyone new that's watching my channel, I'll just play a couple of the animations through. So what I'm doing is I set up the cameras, and then I render those cameras out as an animation that we're then going to take into Premiere Pro to do the final cinematic. Legmog says, oh no other news. I've decided to cease my... I've decided I'm ceasing pre-production on my pilot and I'm going straight to principal animation. Thanks for the follow, Borat. I do appreciate it, guys, when you follow me on Twitch. So thank you, Borat, for following Phil Does 3D on Twitch. I'll just play a couple of these. These are all the shots, different shots we've been rendering out so far for our cinematic. It'll take all day if I play them all, so I'll just play one or two here or there. We've got the opening shot. Let's start with that one. Why not? So this is where an eagle flies in, squawks, and then flies over the gate. And the story is, once you go through this gate, you can't come back out again because it's the hollow. So you get trapped inside once you go through the gate. There really doesn't need to be a story for this particularly because I'm making a cinematic, not a game, but that's the story. So that's the opening shot with the eagle. Let's move along to, let's try shot 4. This is just where we actually start to move through the gate itself. While they play, I'll catch up with chat. Legmog says, decided to create the first 5 minutes of my pilot as if it were its own self-contained mini film. That sounds cool. And Legmog says, make the light at the end of the tunnel seem closer, start making the character's story and world come to life. Yeah, it'll make it more interesting for you as well to work on, Legmog, if you sort of, if you tackle it that way. You'll be more motivated to work on it. It'll be more interesting from a designer's point of view, or an animator's point of view to work on it. So it sounds like a cool idea, Legmog. Xpec says, oh, this is the, it's this one. I saw this months ago. That's right. You changed and were doing a different project? No. It's always been this project, Xpec. We have always been working on this. It's just taken a very long time. Because you guys know I can only work on it 2 days a week, 2 hours a stream, because then I've got to work on other stuff at the studio other times. So the only time I work on it is when I'm streaming to Twitch, and I can only stream twice a week for 2 hours each day. So 4 hours a week is all the time I get. It's the same project. Galen says eagles don't squawk. They are much too. They actually, well, no, they do. Well, they don't. Maybe not squawk is not the right word, but I do have a sound sample of an eagle talking, opening its mouth and doing. If it's not a squawk, whatever it does, that I'm going to overlay as part of the cinematic. Let's just grab another couple of shots and then we'll jump back into what we were doing. Let's go with shot 18. Why not? This is just a close-up shot of the urn and then the stone bench. Thanks, Legmog. I'm glad you like it. Can't wait to see the kitchen and toilet. Oh, Legmog, you get a Phil slap for that, Legmog. So cheeky. That's a Phil slap for you. And just a reminder again, guys and girls, if you're a sub to my channel, you can set these animations off yourself. You can hand out your own Phil slaps. You can either go look in the bottom of below my stream in my panels. There's a link that says live sub pop-ups under the subscriber part. If you click that, it'll take you to a web page that shows you the different commands that you can set off for live on-stream pop-ups. So kitchen and toilet, really, Legmog. Oh. See, so now I don't actually have to lift my hand to slap you cheeky guys. I can just set off that animation on you. Or you can do it yourself, if you're a sub. Galen says, looking great. Let me catch up here. Hey, Phil and chat, sorry I'm late. Sniper Echo, no problem. It's good to see you, buddy. How are you? You're here, that's the important thing. Fashionably late is never a problem. Sniper can actually, yeah. I put a post on Discord for the mods to read. Sniper is a mod. Just saying that a couple of the on-screen live pop-ups are available for you mods to use as well. Xpec says, oh, well, last I was here, you made a coffee table on random sculpture to put on it. Yeah, that was a while ago, Xpec, yep. That was when we were doing the furnishing of the building. Now that all the furnishing is done, and we're at the final stage here where we're just rendering out our cameras so I can set up the final cinematic in Premiere Pro. That's the plan anyway. And we're just about to move into the building to start doing the cameras inside the building because the last thing I have to do is just do the camera shots for the deer and the stag. Once that's done, we are going to be moving inside and doing our cameras for all of our furniture and stuff, which is all because the building is fully furnished, apart from the bathroom and toilet. Sorry, the kitchen and toilet. The people that get trapped here can't go to the bathroom. I'll just play one or two more shots. Legmog says, yeah, I think Xpec might be thinking of the time when she came into the stream back in 2003. This has been a long... It has... Look, you're being cheeky and you're going to get another Phil slap if you're not careful, Legmog. But you are right. It has been an incredibly long project. I never intended it for it to take this long. I thought, oh, this will be, I'll get this done. This will be a nice couple of months for us to do on stream. And it's actually taken ages and ages. Because I just couldn't stop. Once I started furnishing the building, because I was only ever intending to partly furnish the building, but I couldn't stop once I'd started. So that turned into the problem. once I'd actually started furnishing it, I couldn't stop. And that's why we don't have a kitchen and bathroom, because if I was to do that, then it would be extending the project out for another 6 months. So, yeah, it's been long. It's been fun. I've enjoyed it. Working with the Unreal Engine's a real joy. I've always liked the Unreal Engine. Epic Games have done an amazing job with UE4. With all of the Unreal stuff, whether it was UDK, UE3 or UE4, it's always been a beautiful engine to use from an artist's point of view. And trust me, I've used a few real dog of game engines. Some of them have been terrible that I've been forced to use. Gamebryo. Terrible. They don't exist anymore, thank God. But UE4 has been great. And the other reason I wanted to do this project was because I'm going to see if the studio I work for want to use the engine for some clients. Some clients won't want a real-time engine. They like their rendered images, but some clients would like the real-time aspect of UE4. And I know a lot of ArchViz studios are starting to use it now. So yeah, we'll see. They want me to finish the cinematic before they make a choice, before the directors decide one way or the other, and the art director. It was something in January, expect. I think it might have been before January, actually. You're right, though. It's been a very long time. No pressure, Smithberry says. Yeah, no pressure. That's right. No, as Bob Ross would say, it's my world. I'll do what I want. And I'll take as long as I want. I'm not working for a client. I'm doing it for my own personal pleasure. So if it takes me, it takes as long as it takes. Isn't that what those game devs say? When people are always saying, when's your game going to be released? When's your game going to be released? When it's ready and not before. Put a cabin on the ridge. Well, I told you guys, I thought about putting one of those porta potty things or an old dilapidated toilet in the backyard, like an outhouse. I thought that would be cool. But I decided against that because, I want to show the cinematic to work, and I don't think they'd appreciate. They wouldn't find the funny in it if I showed it to the guys at work. They wouldn't get it. Like Mike says, just posted some dev videos on a joke thing I made. Okay, we'll check that out later. Do remember, guys and girls, if you haven't joined the Phil Does 3D Discord server, you should. There's a good group of guys and girls on the Discord, and there's a gallery section you can post your work. If you're not a sub, you can post links in Discord. Everyone can post a link in Discord to their work. Just don't post links in Twitch chat unless you're a sub, because you'll get timed out either by Sniper Echo or Nightbot. Only subs can post links in Twitch chat, but everybody can post links on Discord. I always have Discord open here as well as Twitch chat, so don't think if you put something on Discord I won't see it, because I will. It's always open here while I stream. Xpec says a nice little tree. Legmog says it just scrapes being safe for work. Okay, I might check it out after the stream. And Legmog, I know how twisted your sense of humour can be. You and Smurfberry. Xpec says, remember to beat the devil out of your tools. Legmog says, yes, happy trees. That's right, everybody loves a happy tree. I love Bob Ross. He was one of a kind. And remember, Twitch guys and girls, they do Bob Ross marathons once a month on Twitch, so you can always watch his episodes on Twitch if you want. I've watched them a few times when they've been doing their marathon. I love that song they put to it too. There's like this song, that Happy Little Tree song, that goes at the beginning of the marathon. It's so cool. I want to know who did it. Legmog says, I think Sniper would have to have pretty fast reflexes to beat Nightbot. This is true, but then I can ask Sniper Echo to ban people and Nightbot will just ignore me. By talking to them, I can say, Nightbot, ban Legmog. He won't be banned. He doesn't listen to me, Nightbot, but Sniper Echo would. Don't ban Legmog, by the way. Smurfberry says, I swear they basically have him streaming 24/7 now. Wouldn't surprise me. Actually, did you guys hear that they're going to do away with creative on Twitch? There will be no more IRL and no more creative category on Twitch starting mid next month. Yeah, I know. What? Why? It's not quite as bad as it sounds. What they're doing is they're going to do away with creative, do away with IRL. They're going to introduce 10 new categories. One is called art, so that's probably what I'll be streaming under in future. It'll be the art category. There's one called science or something as well, which is for programmers. There's an ISMR specific section now on IRL, talk shows. They're breaking them all up into individual categories, and they're going to make that more accessible by putting it straight on the front page. So, at the moment, it can be a bit hard to find creative on Twitch. They're going to fix that by integrating gaming and all these new creative and IRL channels together on the main page. How they're going to do that, I don't know yet. And they're doing away with communities as well. So there'll be no more 3D modeling community, no more digital art community or game development community. All the communities are going away as well. Thank you, Twitch. Jeez. And they're replacing that with tags, hashtags, basically, I'm assuming. So starting mid-September, things will be quite different, I think, on Twitch. Hopefully it'll be a change for the better. We'll see. I guess they've got to do something because creative can be a bit hard to find. Yeah, what would happen to 3D streams, Android Lust? Well, you'll still be able to 3D stream. I'll still be streaming. I'm planning to anyway, unless Twitch don't want me to. They haven't said anything. But so what's going to happen is you will now find 3D streamers under the art category, not creative, but under art. And there will be no more 3D modeling community. You'll find them using hashtags. And they're not hashtags that I or anyone else can create. They're ones that Twitch create that we have to select. And there is a 3D modeling hashtag. So I've seen the hashtags so far. It's going to be a bit different. We'll see how things work out. I'm a little bit apprehensive simply because any change with creative can cause it can make it incredibly hard for streamers to be found. Game streamers not so much because they're right on the front page. It's easy to find if you want to watch them play PUBG or Fortnite. But creative streamers have been sort of a bit harder to find. So let's see if this helps that or not. It's a big change though. That's the reason that they're saying they're doing it. They want to make it easier for smaller streamers to be found. So, yep, don't worry. Hopefully it'll all work out for the best. Mercury says, I thought they were keeping creative but changing the way they're tagging. No, they're doing away with creative. There will be no more creative category and no more IRL. They're introducing these 10 new categories. And the only one that really applied to me was the art category. It's going to apply to most creative streamers. You'll stream under art now. Well, after the middle of next month. Just art, that's it. No subcategories. Legmog says no subcategories, no communities. You just then choose hashtags to describe your art category. I actually quite like communities. I got used to them. I didn't like them when they first put them in, but I got used to them, and I thought they were an easy way for you to find an artist that you wanted to watch, whether that be somebody painting, somebody making music, somebody doing 3D, whatever that is, sewing, whatever. It was an easy way for people to find those sort of creative channels to watch, but they're doing away with all of that because according to Twitch, only 3% of people that surf Twitch used communities to find streamers. That's what they say. So, and I don't have the metrics, so I can't say that's not the truth. I don't know. Galen says, may I link to the categories? May you link to the categories? What do you mean, Galen? Well, according to Twitch, categories are going to will disappear. So I don't know if once they introduce the tags, if you can link to that, I don't know. I'm going to assume maybe not. They reckon they're going to make it easier for you to search on Twitch by using these tags as well. And that's going to be across the board, not just creative people or IRL people, but games as well. It's all going, they're going to tag everything. Expect says, well, creative was all of those in one place. So they are doing it. So all they're doing is cluttering the front page again. If you can't find creative, just use the search bar. Yeah. Well, we'll see how it turns out, how they implement it all. I mean, it could be cool. It could be bad. I don't know. I'll see what happens when they make the change. I'm glad they're trying to do something, though, because, like I said, creative, it can be hard to find. Not a lot of people even know that creative exists on Twitch. They think it's just gaming. So, Legmog says, drat, and double drat. Let's not judge it too harshly until it's introduced, and then we can bitch about it if it's not good. But until then, I'm willing to give Twitch the benefit of the doubt. Smurpery says people probably won't tag their streams, right? Yeah, probably. Although Twitch will auto-tag your stream with a couple of tags. Not all of them, but Twitch will automatically auto-tag some things for you. So if they forget, then Twitch will do it for them. But you can't create your own tags. You've got to select from a list that Twitch have created. Which I'm not sure I like, but anyway. Expect says, well, creative was one of those, Legmog says, can't read my chat properly. Legmog says it sucks. It may suck, it may be good, we'll see. Although I guess if you just do a search for 3D modelling, the hashtag 3D modelling, it should still give results for just that thing. That's the idea, yeah. And they're going to make it easier for you to search for those tags on Twitch as well. So they're improving the search function of Twitch so that it'll be easier, presumably, for you guys to find what you want to watch, when you want to watch it. So yeah, they're doing away with communities, replacing them with tags. They're doing away with creative and IRL and replacing it with these 10 new categories. One of them is art. Galen says, post the categories that Twitch is introducing, post a link to it. All right, well, I can do that. We can look at that right now. I know that you guys that watch me are interested in creative streamers, so it's quite easy for you guys to find. I will, actually, I don't know if it's on that one. Just let me open up Chrome. It's off browser here. I'm just going to grab the link. Twitch. It's on Trello. They've actually, Twitch have got their own update section on Trello. I'm going to pop this link into chat so you guys can go to the website yourself and read up on it. But it's here, this section here, updates to the channel, make notifications. No, this here it is. They're adding tags, so you click that and go show full description. You can read up about it here. And if you want to see a list of the tags, it's just here. And this will give you a list of everything that Twitch are planning on introducing as a tag. You have to choose from these. You can't create your own tag, so there are a few. I mean, they've been quite generous here. But you must choose from these. We're not sure yet how many tags you can put on your stream, whether they're going to limit it to 3 like communities used to be, or they're going to let you have more, I don't know. But they've got tags for every language, pretty much. So you can read up on what tags there are there. And if you click on this one, the categories section, you can see that they were getting rid of creative and IRL and replacing it with art, hobbies and crafts, food and drink, music, performing arts, beauty, body art, science, technology, just chatting, travel, outdoor, sport, fitness, tabletop, RGBs, which is RPGs, which is new, special events, talk shows, and ASMR, which is where people whisper into the microphone. Usually girls wearing low-cut blouses and whispering into the microphone. Apparently people like that. I don't get it, but anyway. So yeah, you can go to that webpage, read up on it here yourselves, guys, what they're planning. And they're planning on introducing this mid-September at this stage. They say it might change, but that's what they're planning on. Xpec says, well, it's 1:40 a.m. I need sleep. Night Phil, night chat. I'll be back in 6 months again. Well, we'll finish this project by then, Xpec, but thanks for popping in and being here. I do appreciate it. You have a good night's sleep. Legmug says, Android Lust says, did you ever figure out the problem was with the model? Yeah, did you figure it out? Yes, Smurpery? Smurpery says, I'm trying to remember how I even found creative on Twitch. I think maybe saw a link to someone doing art on ArtStation or Polycount or something. I think that's how I found creative on Twitch as well, was through ArtStation, somebody linking it from their ArtStation account. That's how I found out about creative on Twitch too. So there you go. Maybe this will be a good change because it can be difficult to find the creative section on Twitch for some people. Some people don't even know it exists, like I said. They think Twitch is just video games. Galen says, I have the link, was asking if I could... Oh, sorry, Galen. Oh, wow. Yes, you could have... you could... Sorry, Galen. Anyway, there's the link for you guys to read up on it. You can suggest a tag, though. Well, I'm going to be using... I can tell you exactly what I'm going to be tagging my streams as, because I went through it and I've got a little text document here. I'm going to be tagging 3D modeling, design, digital art, educational, and game development. And I'm going to be streaming under the art category. So I already went through the tags and chose the ones that were appropriate for my type of stream. So that's what I'm going to be using. Oops. There we go. My chat's back. Smebri says, or actually, I think it may have been when a friend of mine shared a link to their Photoshop stream on Facebook. Okay. Facebook. Ooh. Who uses Facebook? No one uses that service anymore. It's only mum and dads that use Facebook now, isn't it? All the kids have moved on to other stuff. I don't have Facebook account. I have a Facebook page for Phil Does 3D, which is completely empty and I've never used. I only created it to grab the name, make sure nobody else did it. Nobody else used my name, but I have no intention of ever using Facebook. I don't like them. I don't like the way that company behaves and operates. That scandal with Cambridge Analytica and stuff, that I never used it before that because I knew what they got up to at Facebook behind the scenes with your data. Google are getting just as bad too, so Google don't escape my criticism either. They're both bad. I have to use Google, unfortunately. Galen says, I just don't like the name hobby. Yeah, a lot of people have said they don't like the name hobbycraft because it makes it sound like those fall into the category that they're not real artists. I agree. And I've read people criticizing that on Reddit as well, saying that my hobby I make money from and I don't consider it a hobby or a craft. It's a profession, a business. So they don't like being called a hobby either, and they don't like being forced to have to stream under the hobby category. Maybe Twitch will listen and create another sort of category, I don't know. They say they're open to feedback. Twitch say that, so if people that that think that they can only stream under the hobby category aren't happy about it, then contact Twitch and let them know. You don't let them know, Twitch don't know, so they can't change anything. But if enough people complain or say, I'd really like another category, then I'm sure Twitch will listen. Smapper says, but once I was aware of it, I sought out other creative streamers and became aware of the rest of the community, like the Adobe and Pixologic streams and all the other big names in 2D and 3D creative streams. Yep. Well, I think companies like Pixologic having their own sort of category you can stream under for Pixologic, that's helped a lot of people find their creative section as well, which is really good. I think Epic Games, because they've got a Twitch channel as well. I think that sort of thing has helped creative a lot. Smapper says, prior to that, I wasn't a Twitch user, didn't care to watch other people playing games. I was a Twitch watcher prior to me streaming, and I did used to watch a couple of people play games, but I used to watch YouTube much more. I'd watch Let's Plays on YouTube much more than I'd watch people gaming on Twitch. And I did that because the one thing I don't like about Twitch, it's not Twitch's fault, it's the streamers, and I'm to blame. I'm bad for this too. All the pop-ups you get, like every time somebody follows or subscribes to a channel, you get those things popping up on the screen. And I find that really distracting if I want to play a game, if I'm watching someone play a game. That and the fact too that as a streamer, a big part of being a Twitch streamer is talking to people in chat. So, and I find that distracting when I'm watching someone play a game. Things are popping up on the screen with subs and all this sort of stuff, and music going off in the background with the pop-up. And then the streamer is sort of stopping what they're doing and talking to chat. So I watch YouTube Let's Plays a lot more because there's none of that going on. I can get more involved in the game. So, but I still do watch people play games on Twitch occasionally, but not as much. And like I said, I'm guilty of the same thing because I have pop-ups that happen as well. So, but just not as often as the big streamers where it seems to go off pretty much every 10 seconds. Same with me, Smurf. I only ever use Twitch for creative, Legmog says. Smurfberry says, and yes, I think I accidentally found a solution to the grip. Good to hear, Smurfberry. Galen says, if you read the examples, they put sculpture under hobbycraft. I'm sure Bernini, Donatello, and Michelangelo are rolling in their graves. Yeah, let's hope that Twitch get the creative. They should. Creative has been a section on Twitch now for a very long time, so you would hope that people in Twitch get the creative section. They get what it's all about. And this is new, so let's not judge Twitch too harshly until it's been implemented and to see if they add to those categories or not and how they handle everything. But you are right, Galen, yes. Smurfberry says, I made this account to put my name in for giveaways that Cryptic Games was doing for Star Trek Online. Delicious free points. Smurfberry says, back when it was Ustream TV. Oh, okay. Because didn't Twitch used to be Just In TV or something? Before Twitch bought it and called it Twitch. I didn't watch it that far back. I was not a Twitch viewer that far back. But Legmog says, never heard of Bernini. I must have stopped watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles by the time it was a character. You need to get your art history. You need to start doing some art history learnings. Legmog. Okay, let's have a look here. So we've got a breathe animation, an idle look around animation for our stag, and then we're going to just do breathe animations until the end, I think. I don't want to run another look around, but it's going to start looking too contrived if the animation repeats a second time further down. So I think we'll just stick to some breathe animations. It'll be fine, don't worry, Galen. That Legmog, you know what that Legmog's like. He needs some learnings. He needs to get some learnings. Legmog says he's talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because they were all named after famous artists. Legmog says, and Donatello and Michelangelo are dead. Curse you, Shredder. Let's add another animation. Another idle animation. Idle breathe, not idle look around. You hope Leonardo avenges them. I'm sure he will. And talking of wonderful, amazing artists, Leonardo da Vinci was one of a kind. One of a kind. It's probably my favourite artist, I would say. I shouldn't say that. I have a reproduction of one of Michelangelo's paintings here in my lounge room. It's huge. It's like, how big would it be? It's probably 2 meters by 1 meter, so it's a really large reproduction of one of his paintings. I do love his work, but Leonardo, I thought was what they call a Renaissance man, where he was good at everything. He was good at drawing, he was good at sculpture, he was good at painting, he was just inventing. He was just good at everything. Legmog says, yeah, his pizzas were magnificent. Got the cheese just right. Yeah, Smurfberry, you can't do a fill slap unless you're a sub. I'll do one for you though. How about that? We'll both give him a fill slap there, Smurfberry. You can read in. That's very true, and I gave him one for you, Smurfberry Barbecue. He deserves it. He deserves another fill slap. Actually, let's give him 2. Legmog needs 2 fill slaps. Okay. So we've got our idle animation. We start our idle, we go into the look around, we finish with a couple of idle animations. Unfortunately, the idles aren't that long. I can drag them out though. to the end of our timeline. Oi, stop that. And what that's doing is it's just repeating the idle animation, me dragging it out. It's not slowing the animation down, just repeating it automatically. So instead of me re-adding these, I could have just dragged one out. But anyway, let's play this on a loop so I can check out how our stag moves. And have a copy while it's doing it. And you can't criticize the animations because they're not mine. I told you guys, full disclosure, these models were purchased from the Unreal store, and the gentleman or lady, I'm not sure, who made them did the animation, not me. So I'm just going to play it through once more so I can double check. He sort of looks like he turns to look back and then he turns to look toward the camera. And then he's just doing a breathing animation. Okay, let's move on to the two deer. Or the doe, as they're called. Let's start with, which one is this? This is the one on the left-hand side. Let's load in an animation for that one. I got a death, I get hit, an idle breathe, a look around as well, a run, a walk, and a walk. Let's start with the idle breathe. We'll pull that to the very beginning of the timeline. I'm just going to zoom in here so we can see our deer a little bit better. Okay, the idle breathe is just the deer breathing, makes sense. I'm going to extend that breathe out because I don't want the I don't want the other animation to start at the same time that he starts moving. So I'm going to drag that out to about halfway. And let's add another animation. And this one will do the look around. I'm going to drag that toward the end and just overlap them a little bit. So the idle, and then we have the deer it looks like it's eating, and then looks around, and then we'll go back into an idle again, and we'll drag that out to the end of the timeline. Again, let's just play that through on a loop. Okay. Let's move to the second deer now, which is on the other side, which will be this one. Let's add an animation. Now, will I start the animation with the idle on this one? I think what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to start with the look around animation. So we'll start that at the very beginning of the timeline. Johan, good to see you, Johan. How are you? Are you well? Did you have a good weekend? How's things? Yeah, so this one I think we'll start with the, let me make sure I am at the very beginning of my timeline here. We'll start just to have the animations look different so it doesn't look like each deer is playing the same animation, which we mix them up a bit. So we'll start with the look around on the other deer. And then we'll run into an idle. An idle breathe. Johan says, I'm alright, just getting some stuff done around the house and computer. You know, I'm very well, thanks for asking, Johan. Yep, finally catching up on all the work that I was behind on because of having to wait because of my glasses. So that's good. Aside from that, no, I'm well. Yep, no, everything's going good. And it's good to hear that you're getting some stuff done around the house. It's always, I have to do the vacuuming actually. I've got to vacuum the floors and mop them. That reminds me, I have to do that either today or tomorrow. Housework, gotta love housework. I'm going to, so we start in with an idle look around, then he goes into an idle breathe. And I'm going to extend the breathe to just before the end of the deer, of the stag's animation, which is here, and that's the other deer. And then I'm going to go back into another idle look around. So, where am I? Smokeberry says, this weekend I H.264 compressed a bunch of game footage I'd captured, saved like 250 gig of drive space. Yeah, H.264 is great. H.265 is better. I have to say. The compression on H.265 is better than H.264 and better quality as well. So you'll get a smaller file size on H.265 and better quality. So, but H.265 is not supported on a lot everywhere yet. Like you need a certain type of graphics card. The NVIDIA cards, the AMD cards, the new ones, they all do it. The new Intel integrated does it. I don't know if YouTube accepts H.265 as an upload yet. I know Twitch don't. You have to broadcast on H.264. But H.264 is cool too. Smokeberry says I must be doing it wrong because H.265 is ugly as hell when I used it. No, it's supposed to H.265. You are doing it wrong. H.265 is better. It'll give you better quality and a smaller file size. It should be anyway. It should do that. And it's more performant when you play it back as well. So playing back video that's been recorded in H.265 uses less resources on your computer than H.264. I mean, both of them will run on a video card anyway, so they're pretty performant, but H.265 has a bit more performance. Legmog says, what kinds of software compression to H.265? What kinds of software? Premiere Pro, After Effects, Sony Vegas, they will all save to H.265 for you. The newer versions of Premiere, After Effects, and Vegas. Anyway. Yep, there you go. Handbrake can do H.265, as Smokeberry says. Yep. So I'd encourage, but just do bear in mind though that not every service will take a H.265 video. Like I said, I'm not sure if you can upload H.265 to YouTube or not. I know you can't broadcast to Twitch on H.265, only H.264, so it's not as widely used yet because it's still pretty new. Legmog says, well, really, I'm going to have to try out this H.265 nonsense. Yeah, give it a go. Play around with it. If you've got a video card that supports the playback of it too, it'll save it. It'll save you space. It's supposed to be better quality. So win-win, it's supposed to be anyway. But according to Smokeberry, he gets better with H.264, so your mileage may vary. Legmog says, what? Can't upload H.265 to YouTube? Nuts to that then. Look, don't quote me on that. Now, somebody is probably going to watch this video back and say, listen, you're an idiot because you can upload H.265 to YouTube. Maybe you can. I don't know. I don't upload a lot to YouTube at the moment because you guys know how I hate YouTube. No, I don't like what they did with monetization on YouTube. I think it stinks. They're punishing the wrong people. Let's not go there. Don't get me started again. I haven't uploaded a lot to YouTube, so they may accept H.265. I don't know. But not everywhere does. And I know Twitch don't. You must broadcast H.264. They don't accept H.265 at this stage. Which is a shame because broadcasting under H.265 could give better quality and us Twitch streamers could knock our kilobits a second back because we wouldn't need to go as high for as good a quality. I'm sure Twitch will eventually support it. It's like it's still pretty new, relatively new. Smurfberry says, I'm sure YouTube supports it. Yeah, they probably do. Legmog says, full-size PNG images, Johan. What do you what do you do to play them? Just open the first image, play the audio, then just tap the right arrow key on your keyboard super fast. Because Johan said I save all my videos in full-size PNG frames, pushes up hipster glasses. I am as well, Johan. That's what we're doing for this cinematic. I am saving out my cinematic cameras as PNG files, as 4K. I'm rendering in 8K. The engine is then shrinking that down to 4K and then saving those 4K images out as PNG files, which I then take into Premiere to create an MP4 file from. So I do the same thing. Remember I say to you guys, it's always better, the best way to do any sort of video work, particularly any sort of rendering work, whether it's real-time or a ray tracing engine in a 3D program, is to save out individual images. Don't render it out to a movie. Because if you have one problem during that render sequence, you're going to have to redo the entire thing. But saving it out to images and then using those images to make the movie, if one of those images is wrong, you just re-render that frame. So it's a much better way to work. You've got much more control over the way you work too, doing it that way. So it's going to use more hard drive space, but most of us are working with terabytes of space now anyway. You know, we buy 3, 4, 8 terabyte drives now. Hard drives, not SSDs, hard drives. You can get 2 terabyte SSDs though if you wanted to. They're expensive, but you can. But you don't need an SSD to do video work. You can save it all out to a hard drive. That's what I do. I don't save it on my SSD. Johan says, yes, my pointer finger muscles are gigantic. And I found saving out as PNG, when you take that sequence into Premiere Pro, it can play that sequence in the video player pretty well inside of Premiere anyway. Just loads them up as it needs them and plays it through. There might be a bit of a stutter here and there, but generally it's pretty good. Adobe have been in the video game for a long time and they know how to work their stuff. Okay, I'm going to concentrate on this viewport over here, the cinematic viewport. And we're going to play it through in a loop because I want to see what we got. I'm going to do that a couple of times. I just want to check it. So the stag sort of only dips his head once because, you know, he's looking after the other 2 deer. He wants to make sure no one sneaks up on them. So, and the second deer on the right dips its head twice. The one on the left once. And as Johan says, Adobe's been in a video game. No, Adobe has been in the video editing game for a very long time, Johan. Like Photoshop and Premiere and After Effects have been around for decades. So Adobe have been making software to make video for a very long time. That's what I mean. They haven't been in a video game, no. So cheeky. You don't get a Phil slap for that. You get a stink eye for that one. Yeah, so I'm sure that, and that's the reason that a PNG sequence can play back in the video editor inside of Premiere, because Adobe must be caching it behind the scenes. Okay, I just want to make sure that my animations here are correct. Oh, it's not playing back because I clicked outside the editor. There we go. All right. I don't think I think that animation is okay. Just going to reset my timeline. Just here, it looks like the animation doesn't start at the beginning for one of the deer, so I'm just going to pull this forward. And stretch out that one to overlap the idle look around a little bit. So all of our animation starts at 0. Johan says, has anyone seen the new Red Dead Redemption 2 gameplay trailer? Some freaking beautiful. I did. I've seen it. Yep. I agree. It does look amazing. Red Dead Redemption 2 by Rockstar Games. I'm pretty sure it's Rockstar. Yep, I watched the trailer. It does. It looks great. Beautiful. They've done some really beautiful environments, which I expect from Rockstar. They know their stuff. They always create really amazing looking environments. GTA 5 is a good example of that too. But the characters look really good too, like the animation of the characters, the texturing of the characters. They look really cool, and the environments look beautiful. You're super excited, Johan? I am too. But I don't think they're releasing it on PC, are they? It's only a console thing. I know Red Dead Redemption 1 was only consoles. They'd never released it on the PC. And I don't think they're releasing number 2 on PC either. I could be wrong. But I thought that they were only releasing it on consoles, which would be a shame because I want to play it. But I'm not going to buy a console to play it. I'm a PC gamer. PC Master Race all the way. But it certainly does look good. Johan says no, they're probably going to do the same thing they did with GTA 5 and release PC version later. Oh, cool. I hope they do. I'll certainly be buying it if they release it on PC. I'm not going to buy a console to play it, but I'll buy it if they release a PC version, even if it is later on. That's cool. I don't mind that. I'll wait. There's plenty of good games coming up soon, actually, toward the end of the year, beginning of next year. There's a lot of new stuff being released. So there's plenty to keep us all occupied until Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out on the PC. But I'll certainly buy it if they do, because it does look beautiful. Even though those type of games are generally not... I like single-player games, and if it's got a good story, then I'll play it, regardless of what type of game it is. Johan says, but I have a PS4 for Sony exclusives, so you're all set. If I was to buy a console, I would probably buy a PS4 Pro. If I was to buy one. Simply because I like the exclusives for the PS4 more than I do the Xbox. Like things like The Last of Us, all those type of games that are exclusive to the to Sony. So I'd buy a PS4 over an Xbox if I was going to buy a console, but I'm not. Not planning on buying a console. I like to game on my PC, and I can cast my PC screen to my television if I want to play big screen that way anyway. So you can do it through Steam, through the Steam client. You can cast it to your TV. And I'm connected up with gigabit Ethernet, so you can do it wirelessly if you wanted to, if you had a good enough wireless connection. Johan says, I'm the same. I have a PC and a PS4 Pro. No point in buying an Xbox if you already have a Windows PC. No, that's right. I don't think there's not really either. PC Master Race Smurfberry says, that's right. PC Master Race all the way. Not those consoles. Ugh, those consoles, no. PC. Being a PC gamer, we can crank everything up to the max, all the details, everything. Unlike the console peasants who have to stick to whatever the game developer chose when they made the game available on the console. We've got choice, and that's what I want. I want choice as a PC gamer as to how much detail I want in my game, and let me choose. Having said that, I have owned consoles. I have 2 Xbox 360s sitting in a cupboard here. that I don't use anymore, but I have bought consoles in the past, so not anymore. Always PC now. PC. Okay, so we have a wide shot here of our deer. I think the animation on them is probably going to be okay. I just didn't want them all like bending their head down at the same time, and they don't. They sort of like do it at different times so it looks more natural. One of them does it twice, the deer on this side for you guys. So that should be cool. Now, I'm going to do a save all here. Now, I want a close-up shot. This is more of a distance shot. I want a shot that's a bit closer. So I think the easiest way to do that, so I don't have to redo all the animation again, if I chose a blank shot, is I'm just going to duplicate shot 38, which is the one we've just been using. We're just calling shot 39. Thank you, Unreal, for doing that automatically. So it's basically an identical shot to the one we just looked at. Let's look through our camera to make sure. Yes, it's identical. So for this one, we're going to delete the keys for the camera, and we will move our camera. But we can keep all of the animation that we've set up already. So now we have a camera that doesn't move. Let's position our camera. So let me go into my perspective here and get an angle I really like. So this is a close-up, remember. Johan says, it's funny, the past couple of years I think the best looking games have come out for the PS4 exclusively, not the PC. I would agree, and particularly games like The Last of Us, which is made by Naughty Dog. The games company is called Naughty Dog. They're amazing games. The story is amazing. The visuals, the environments are beautiful. Whoever does the environment stuff at Naughty Dog, they're incredibly talented. Their environments are amazing. They're beautiful. As an environment artist, I can really appreciate nice work, and whoever's doing the environments for them just does an incredible job. They're beautiful. So I'm looking forward to The Last of Us 2. I won't be able to play it, obviously, because it's a Sony exclusive for the PlayStation, but I'll watch a Let's Play of it so I can check the environments out more closely. That's what I did with The Last of Us 1. I watched a Let's Play. And yeah, their environments are just beautiful. Johan says, not saying the best performing games like 30 plus frames, but 30 frame games on the PS4 doesn't actually bother me. It doesn't bother me either. Plus I generally care more about resolution than frames per second. I'm the same. It's a bit sacrilege to say as a PC gamer, because, you know, PC gamers say we want to be able to game at 144 hertz frames a second. But I'm quite happy with 30 frames a second. I find 30 frames a second, so long as it's stable and doesn't drop below that, is quite fine. I can enjoy a game at 30 frames a second. It doesn't have to be 60 frames a second, 120 frames a second. Pro gamers will disagree and say that as a pro gamer, 120 frames a second is better for reactions and stuff, and just the general feel of the of playing the game. And they're probably true, but I happily play a game at 30 frames a second. Doesn't bother me. I don't you know. Android Lust says, Detroit Become Human looked really nice. I didn't mind it being a PS4 exclusive, even if I don't have a PS4. I watched it like it was a movie. Yeah, I did too. I watched a Let's Play of Detroit Become Human, and I watched that Let's Play because it was played as a movie, because there's lots of cutscenes and stuff in it. So, yep, I agree with you, Android Lust. Johan says, Last of Us, Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah, another beautiful game, Horizon Zero Dawn. God of War and Detroit. Yep, all beautifully done. God of War was nicely, the environments were nicely done, and the game was really interesting for a God of War game. Again, watching it as a Let's Play, not playing it, it was good. I didn't like it as much as The Last of Us, because I didn't think the story was as deep, and I didn't think the environments were quite as nice as The Last of Us. Not saying they were bad, just saying I preferred The Last of Us, but story and for its environments. That would probably be my number one game on the PlayStation 4. But Horizon Zero Dawn, that was beautifully made as well. The story in that was really interesting. The environments were beautifully done. Yeah, I'd agree. And Uncharted 4 as well, as Johan says, another beautiful game. The environment work is beautiful. The texturing of the models, the environment design and layout, the story, all amazingly done, Uncharted 4. Again, I haven't played it, but I've watched a Let's Play of it. Johan says, I can tell where the FPS is changing rapidly more than the difference between stable 30, 60, 120. Yeah, like I said, I don't mind playing at 30 frames a second, provided it doesn't drop below that. Because I don't want hitching or anything. But if it can keep a stable 30, then I'm quite happy. Doesn't need to run at 60 for me, or 120. I'm easily pleased. 30 frames a second stable, I'm happy. And the consoles can generally do that. The PC can just go much higher if you wanted it to. And I'd rather crank up all the graphics details in a game than play at a higher frames per second. So I'm happy to play at 30 frames a second and crank everything up to maximum as far as details go. I prefer that than having to knock details back and play at 60 frames a second. That's just me though. Other people are the other way, but I prefer 30 and crank everything up to the max. I want my games to look pretty, and as pretty as they can. That's why I play a game. I want to escape into a pretty looking world. I don't want to knock back the pretty so I can get 60 frames a second. I don't see the point. Johan says, but I understand that there are people that can tell the difference, to each their own. I agree. And there are people that can tell the difference, particularly pro gamers, first-person pro gamers. They often talk about 60, 120 frames per second being necessary for them to gaming. Just trying to get to an angle here that I want for a close-up, and it's proving difficult. I want a close-up, but I don't want to get too close, because you'll notice that these deer, again, not my texturing work, but these deer are not textured with actual fur. Like, you can integrate fur, NVIDIA Hairworks, I think they're calling it, fur into Unreal, but you've got to compile your own build. It doesn't come standard with Unreal. It's not that it's difficult to integrate, to rebuild the engine with that Hairworks integrated, but it was just too much work for what I wanted to do for this cinematic. And the designer of these animals is not using fur. He's just using a texture. He or she, I'm not sure which it is. So I don't want to get too close, because we'll see that. But I do want to get into an angle where I'm close enough. So maybe we will put the sun behind the deer in this close-up shot. I just want to get into an angle of where all of the three animals look interesting. We're not like looking at them at a really ugly angle, like looking at front on at the stag here, that's an ugly angle. Whereas a side view looks a lot better. This is not too bad. We're getting a bit of a side view here. So if I lower my camera, maybe for this shot, because the other shot is the camera moving sideways, maybe for this close-up shot, normally with a close-up shot you don't move the camera, you leave it still. But we could maybe just bring the camera up a little bit as they animate. That might be interesting. So let's start our camera. Let me get as close to tight a shot as I can, keeping them all in shot. Let's start our camera. Let's start our camera here. So I'm going to create a keyframe at the beginning. Zero, 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 zero. We want the transform. And let's move to the end of the timeline. Let me zoom this out and readjust these keyframes here, or these end frames. Move to the end of the timeline. And I'm just going to move my camera directly up. So I'm going to select a camera. I made a bit of a boo-boo there. I didn't actually move the camera. I forgot I was in my perspective view. So that's okay. We're just going to remove those keyframes we just placed there at the beginning. Can't do two things at once. Can't talk and work. Let's find our camera, shall we? So let's select our camera. There it is. Let's move our camera over. Let's move it back. Hambone, hello to you too, Hambone. How are you? I saw your post on Twitter of your lawnmower game. It looks really cool. And I love that idea for a game. Anyone that hasn't seen Hambone, check out his Twitter page. Or jump on Discord because he posted an animated GIF, I think, on the gallery section on Discord of a game he's working on. A lawn mowing game. It looks really cool. Just a rough prototype. It looks really cool. And I love the idea of a lawn mowing game. I don't think I've ever seen one before or ever heard of one before. It looks really, it's cool. It's really cool. You guys jump on Discord and check it out. Or jump on his Twitter as well. He posted to Twitter. But it looks really cool. As far as stylized lighting goes in UE4 for the game, now I'm not really sure what you could do, Hambone. Yeah, I don't know. As far as stylized lighting goes, because generally you stylize the art assets, you don't stylize the lighting. You could certainly do all sorts of things though with the post-process volume to stylize it. There's a lot of really interesting things you could do with a post-process volume inside of UE4 to stylize your game. Hambone says, yeah, I was not sure if there was some technique to make it look better maybe. I'm just not sure, new to design. Yeah, there's not really a technique to make it look better. You've just got to decide on how you want to light it. Like, you want top-down lighting, you want side lighting, you want bottom lighting. But stylizing lighting, not so much. Stylize the assets more. Generally, that's the way it's done. But check out the post-process volume if you want to make your assets look, or your level, your game look different. You can add a lot of stuff through the post-process volume. That'll completely change the look of the game. So if you want to go for a more stylized look, you can apply all different filters and stuff through the post-process volume. And that's probably what I'd do. I'd start with stylized models to begin with, and then in the style that you want your game to be in. But then if you want even more stylization, I'd do it through a post-process volume. Less so with the lighting though, probably. Okay, how now? Now I've got my camera. Let me just position it here so I can decide how I want to do this. Okay, now camera. Just trying to decide how I want to animate the camera, or if I even want to animate the camera, because this is just meant to be a close-up shot for our deer. Hambone says, I have a strange rendering bug right now in the mobile preview. I asked on the UE4 Reddit, but no one has replied. I've not done a lot of work in mobile, but what's the problem, Hambone? Maybe one of us can help you out. What problem are you having? What rendering problem are you having in the mobile preview? I think remember these will be animating as the camera moves, but I'm just trying to work out my camera here at the moment. I'm wondering if I might start the camera in amongst the bush. No, that's pretty boring. I might start the camera quite maybe a little bit in the bush, and then we can just lift up a little bit. Okay, Hambone says, I see black lines between some of the grass meshes. A black line where the grass meshes meet. Maybe a Z-depth thing, Smurfberry says. And the Hambone said, I tried changing the anti-aliasing, but that didn't seem to help. Okay, so you're getting black lines between some of the grass meshes. So you're using like a tileable, you've created a mesh that you're then duplicating, I'm assuming that's what's going on, and you're getting a line between the two duplicates. Is that the problem? Yeah, you got a screenshot, as Johan says. That would always help. You tried changing the anti-aliasing, but you had a GIF. Is it the one you posted in Discord, Hambone? I've just seen the leg mugs. You like big butts, do you, leg mug? Wow. Jump on the Discord, guys. I won't put it on stream because I'm family friendly, even though it's not rude. Jump on the Discord and look at the videos that leg mug put into the gallery section there of his lady. Smurfberry, I see you posted your GIF. Yeah, post it on Discord, Hambone, so we can check it out. That'll give us a better idea of what the problem might be. Let's start our camera here. We're just a bit of the bush here in the foreground. I'm just going to go back to 0 and we're going to add keyframes. There we go. Let's move to the end of the animation. And we are going to lift I'm not using a rig because all I'm doing is moving the camera in one axis. If I was going to move the camera in more than one axis, then I would use a rig. But just going straight up, we don't need a rig. Just going to pull my camera up, and it's just going to be a small movement up just to frame our deer completely. And instead of doing that right at the very end of the shot, I might do that to around about the halfway mark. So I pull my camera up so my deer are framed and add a keyframe. Let's just play that through on a loop. So our camera moves up. And after halfway through the animation, the camera has reached its top height, so we can just concentrate then on the deer. Just wondering whether I should change the animation for this deer here on the close-up. So, because this one goes down to eat twice, this one doesn't. Maybe I should make it eat again, I think. It just looks like it's a bit stunned. It makes sense for the stag to be standing there and looking around more because he's protecting his two deer. His two mates, female mates here. But they should not be standing. I think having this deer eat for a second time would look better, like this one does. Thank you, Hambone, but I can't take credit for the animations. They're not mine. These models were purchased from Unreal Marketplace, and whoever made the model did the animation. Not me, because I'm not an animator. The only thing animated from me is that eagle at the beginning, and that's why it looks so crappy. So yeah, you can purchase these assets from the Unreal Marketplace, and the creator created death animations, hit animations, run animations. So if you're making a game and you want to have some deer, you can check them out from Unreal. But I think this deer would probably be better if it was animating twice, if it was eating twice. So look for this close-up shot anyway. So that is this doe here. I think what we might do, actually the look around animation is quite long. I think what we'll do here is, so it starts still, it goes to eat, and then it's still again while this one is eating. And I think what we might do here at the very end is I might just pull the animation in, the idle animation, and might just add another eating animation. So let's load up that. They call it a look around. I call it an eating animation because it looks like it's eating to me. We do want to make sure it overlaps the idle animation a bit though, so that we blend them together a bit more cleanly. So then its head goes down while the other one's head goes up to the end of the animation. Let's play that through on a loop. I think that's looking a bit more natural. I think that's better. Okay, the rendering bug. Hambone has posted an image, so I'm going to copy this link and we're going to look at it on screen here so that everybody can get a look at it, not just me. But I do encourage you to join Discord. Just type !Discord in Twitch chat to get an invite link if you're watching my stream, or you can click that link I've just popped in chat. Where is the rendering bug? Oh, I see. When you're moving around, is that what you're talking about? I see this black line popping up. Yeah. Is that what you're talking about, Hambone? That black line that's popping up when you move? Yep. What could be causing that? If you blink, you'll miss it. Yeah, no, I can see what you're talking about. I can just see it popping up around here. And this is in the mobile preview. Again, I've not done any work with mobile using the engine, but I'm trying to work out what might be the problem. It doesn't show up when you're not moving, so we know it's not a problem with the UV mapping or the tiling. The positioning of your tiled pieces, they all look correct. Otherwise we'd see it when it wasn't moving. It's only when it's moving. Only happens in the mobile preview a lot, and you think dynamic but no shadows. I don't know. I'm tempted to say it's the redraw is not redrawing quickly enough. Like when it's the redraw on the movement is not updating quickly enough in the preview. So it's like tearing in a video game. like I said, it's not a problem with the UV because you'd see it in the still shot. So UVs are okay. Positioning of the asset pieces must be okay because, again, they don't show up as being a problem when it's not moving. It only shows up when it is moving. Hambone says, I asked this dude yesterday who has worked with UDK for like 8 years and he was not sure either. Yeah, again, I've used UDK, I've used it before as well, and I've not seen this, but I don't work with mobile preview stuff. I don't work with mobile. So it could be something specific to the preview for mobile. Hambone says, that is actually something to look at, is the draw call speed. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. I could see maybe that being the issue. It looks like a draw call thing. It looks like it's not updating, refreshing the screen correctly, and it sort of looks like it's tearing more than anything to me. Particularly because it only happens during movement as well. Johan says, I was going to say UE4 has issues showing seams between meshes using baked lighting, because it uses different threads per object, but if it's dynamic, not sure. Because mobile's slower, the Hambone says, so it could be VSync. It looks like that type of an issue to me, again, at a guess. That would be my guess. So maybe look at trying to see if you can alter the VSync on it, or the redraw rate on it somehow. That's the only thing I could think of, Hambone, off the top of my head. Like I said, I know it's not going to be a problem with any other of your assets because they're fine when it's not moving. So, and if it was, they'd show up when it wasn't moving. It only shows up when it moves, so I'd look at that as being part of the problem, I think. Give it a go, see if you can work it out that way, looking at it from that angle, the VSync issue. Oh. Let us know how you go, and if that doesn't work, we can brainstorm something else. No problem, Hambo. Glad we could be of help. But like I said, if that's not the issue, then always pop back in and ask. We can maybe brainstorm another solution, perhaps. Okay. I think that'll be okay. It looks a bit more natural. For the close-up shot, I just wanted that second deer on the left. Just not to stand there for as long, not doing anything as it was. So adding another eating animation toward the end, I think, just helps to make it look a bit more real. Not standing there looking like a stuffed deer. I just got to work out what's going on at the very beginning here when the thing repeats. It's doing something weird. Or is it at the end? No. I'm just going to play it through in a loop again. It just looked like it was jumping when it went back to the beginning. It looked like there was a bit of a problem, but I could be seeing things. See that flicker? Let's try to work out what that is. 0 to 100. There's no problem there. That's just the way the visual bug when the playhead returns to 0. Maybe. Again, because I'm rendering out a series of still images, even if it does go a bit weird toward the end of the animation, I can just remove those stills and not use them as part of the movie file, so it's not a problem. It's just the first time I've noticed it do something like that. I'm not sure why. It may have something to do with the animation tracks. Just making sure the animation tracks start at the right spot, and they do. It could be because the animation runs off past 1,000. I think that's probably just causing a bit of a glitch. that animation track is quite long, as you see here, and we're only using a small part of it. So the rest of it is running all past 1,000. Again, it's not going to cause an issue though, I don't think, for us. So we have our wide shot of our deer, we have our close-up shot of our deer. I think we have every shot we need for the environment and the building. I think it's almost time now for us to start setting up cameras inside the building. Let's do a save all here. I'm just going to deselect my deer, move back down. Like I said, we will grab a couple more shots of outside, but we won't do that until we move through the building and come back out the back door here. Then we'll grab a couple more environment shots from the back, but we'll do that once we've gone through the building. So I think we're ready to actually jump inside the building now. Finally ready to get into the building. So we're going to start, this is where we're going to enter our building. I'm just going to try and work out what sort of shot I want here. I think a shot where we actually travel through the doorway, and we'll end the shot like here. I think that could be cool. So I don't want to go through the doorway just completely straight, because that's pretty boring. So I'm going to start the camera on a bit of an angle and rotate the camera as we move through the door. For this one I'm going to use a camera rail. So let's throw down a camera rail. Let's position it to start sort of around about here. Let's extend our rail out. Come on, don't do that. There we go. Just let me move here so I can select it properly. I'm going to start to rotate it around. I'll make some small adjustments in a minute once I get the length of the rail correct. Let's move you further back. Let's rotate you around a little bit. You guys didn't tell me I didn't have my music playing either yesterday. Thanks very much, guys. You were just happy there was no music playing, weren't you? So I went to edit my video after yesterday's stream in Premiere and noticed that there was no audio on my music track. Smoked Berry Barbecue. You didn't remind me like you normally do. Like I said though, you guys were probably just happy that I didn't have my EDM playing in the. My music is not EDM. It's sort of a bit, but not quite. So you're probably just happy it wasn't playing in the background. But yes, I didn't notice myself until I was editing the video and noticed my music track was completely empty. And then I looked at, you know how in the corner there, in the bottom right hand corner, there's my little music bar going off. I noticed that didn't move through the whole video, so I realised I hadn't unpaused my music. You thought there was music? You're gaslighting my memories. No, there was no music yesterday. No music in the stream. I forgot to unpause it, so there was just me. You probably didn't notice because you guys know I'm such a motor mouth and I never stop talking, so that probably was the reason you didn't notice. Motor mouth Phil. I'm a real windbag. Oop, I didn't want to move that up. I want to move the entire rail up. Okay, let's attach a camera. Just before I do that though, I want to rename this so it's easy for me to find. To attach my camera to. We're going to call this Z underscore camera. And it should put it right down the bottom for me to easily find. There we go. Let's drag in a cinematic camera actor. And let's position it along our rail. And I want it to follow the rail. I don't want it to be pointing out. I want it to point along the rail. So I'm just going to move it up. And we'll rotate it to make sure it's in line with the rail. I'm going to do a save all here. And we need to create a new shot track. So let's do that. Let's start with a blank shot track though. This is going to be camera 40, I think. Yep. So shot 40. Wow. 40 cameras already. And we're only getting into the building now. Let's open that up. I'm going to attach that cinematic camera to that camera rail. And we're going to add those to our shot track. And I did that so we can get a proper preview here in our window of what the camera is seeing. Alrighty. I'm going to start by moving I'm going to move the rail further back, I think. I wonder if I need to move it out. Well, I'm going to start by moving the camera up a little bit, I think. I think it's sitting just a bit too low to the ground. Because we have to work out when we go through the doorway, we can either make it head height or we can go for a more dramatic shot where the camera is lower. I think a lower camera would be more dramatic. Sniper Echo says, can't wait to see the difference between this and the UE5 version of the project. Oh, you get a full slap, Sniper Echo. So cheeky. So cheeky. Wow. UE5 version, yeah. Don't even suggest it. Wow. No, another 12 months. So cheeky. I don't think, I wonder if Epic, when they will release UE5, or if they will, or are they just going to keep updating UE4 forever? Actually, you know how yesterday Sniper and I were talking about SIGGRAPH and NVIDIA talking about the new Quadro cards, the RTX cards, the R standing for real-time ray tracing. And I wonder if Epic Games, when they introduce that, will do that as part of the new version of the engine, like a version 5 of the engine. Sniper says maybe even spring for a kitchen, eh? The Hambone says, are you interested in Unreal Studio? What do you mean, Hambo? What is Unreal Studio? I've not heard of it. What you mean, Hambone? Explain. What is Unreal Studio? I'm interested in anything Unreal. Yeah, but I just was wondering because NVIDIA are really talking up real-time ray tracing. I know that Epic have spoken about it before as well, and the new Quadro cards have special chips or whatever built into them to handle real-time ray tracing better. I was just wondering, maybe Epic Games, when they integrate that, they may release that with the new version of the engine, like version 5 of the engine or something. The Hambone says the new thing that they are working on, I think it costs money. I think it's more geared towards ArchViz. Oh, I did remember reading something briefly about that. Because I know that Epic Games are pushing their engine more towards ArchViz use. And not just games and VR, but more ArchViz stuff. And I did read of something about that. I remember seeing a Twitter post, I think, from Epic about it. Yeah, no, I haven't seen the SIGGRAPH talk yet, Sniper Echo. I do want to watch it. I will probably do that after the stream today. I've got to you guys know I work from home, so I've got some stuff to do for the studio. But if I don't do it today, I'll certainly maybe do it tonight or tomorrow. I'll see if I can catch up on what they spoke about. I have read a couple of articles briefly about it, talking about what they were doing, what they were talking about. Smurpery says, put the SIGGRAPH talk in Discord or here. Yeah, do it. Do a link if you can, Sniper. If you know when the video of the talk, you can certainly link to it in Twitch chat or in Discord or in both, whatever you want. Because we're all interested. For sure. Real-time ray tracing. Let's talk about this for 2 seconds, guys, because I know it's the buzzword at the moment because of SIGGRAPH yesterday. It's really exciting and really cool. If we can get to the stage where we can do our ray tracing in real time, from my perspective and from the studio I work for, it's going to be huge because we spend so much time rendering out animations for clients using V-Ray or Mental Ray or Arnold or whatever your choice is. It takes time. So being able to do that in real time is very, very cool. Having said that, I don't think that it's going to be anything that's really going to get a lot of uptake in the short term because it's too new. And unless things have changed from the last time I looked at real-time ray tracing, it doesn't cover all aspects of the ray tracing pipeline. So some things you still can't do in real time. You still need to use a proper ray tracing engine to do. So there's that limitation still, and it's still new, so it's not going to appear in games for quite a while. You're looking at least a couple of years before you start to see games made using real-time ray tracing. So while it's exciting and it's mega cool, I don't think it's going to be practical for a couple of years for you and I to be using it in our games or whatever. Yep, grab the link. Cool, Sniper. Smurpery says the real-time client demos with ray tracing. Yeah, they're really cool too. I saw the Star Wars ones. This was a couple of months ago. Smurpery says, and the X-Files theme just started blasting from the other room. But so yeah, real-time ray tracing is mega, mega cool. And it will become a thing, particularly now that NVIDIA are creating hardware for it. But it's going to take a couple of years until it's, integrated into game engines and we play a game using it, maybe. So, yep, cool. I'm interested in it. Super exciting, but it's going to take a while. Thank you, Sniper, for popping that link in. And Hambone says, I'll never go outside again. It makes me, if it makes it to games, it will make it to games. I'm sure it will. Trust me. If NVIDIA are investing in it and looking and creating hardware for it, at this stage the hardware is only Quadro, and there's talk of NVIDIA releasing new video cards at the end of this week at SIGGRAPH. Talk of them making an announcement of an RTX 2080, I think they're calling it. Again, for real-time ray tracing. There's a rumour that they're going to include real-time ray tracing hardware inside of the new NVIDIA gaming cards. So we'll see what happens at the end of the week and see if that comes true or not. But it's certainly in the new Quadro cards. I understand them doing it first for Quadro because those cards are used in workstations which are used in a lot of ArchViz studios. So it makes sense for them to release it in Quadro, but there's the rumour they're going to release it in the gaming cards as well. For those people that don't want to spend 10 grand on a Quadro card, because that's what it costs. Sniper says NVIDIA used UE4 as part of their showcase. Yeah, I thought they did, because I thought Epic Games had a build of UE4 that included some sort of real-time ray tracing, because I remember Epic Games talking about it publicly. So yeah, I'm going to check that out. I see that Sniper's popped a link in Discord and here on the chat. I won't do it now. I'm tempted, but I won't do it. I was going to click the link. I'll check it out either this evening or later this afternoon or this evening. I want to look at what's going on, but because it's mega super interesting, at least to me, coming from an arts biz background and having to rely on ray tracing, which is why I really like this real-time stuff with Unreal, because you save so much time. So much time. I think we might leave it there though for today, guys. I'm going to make a quick save here so we can pick up on this camera. When I come back on Monday next week, we're going to start setting up our cameras inside the building, which will be fun. You can be much more creative setting up cameras inside the building than you can in an environment. There's only so many slow pans you can do around an environment. That a lot more interesting things going on inside the building. So I think we can come up with a lot more variety inside the building for our cameras. So that'll be cool, and that'll be the first thing we do when I come back on Monday next week. You're quite welcome, Sniper. Thank you guys very much though for hanging out with me and for watching and being here. I really do appreciate it. I will be back again live on Monday next week at 5 p.m. Pacific in the United States. Remember though, you can always see a countdown to the next stream below my panels, below my stream in my panels. Remember to join the Discord server by clicking on that link in my panels. And you can follow me on Twitter, because I post when I go live to Twitter at PhilDoes3D. You guys and girls though, have a great weekend and the rest of the week. I will see you guys hopefully on Monday next week. See ya.